Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing a psychic slash mediumship reading on Eazy-E. This has been a reading that has been requested by many of you for the longest, and I have not done it yet. So today I felt guided by a spirit and by Eazy-E's soul energy to talk about things that need to be talked or spoken about. I feel like there's a lot of mystery surrounding his death and how he really died. Now, apparently, for those of you that don't know, he is like the godfather of the hip-hop rap game. You know, he was a record producer, songwriter, you know, you name it, he did it. And he managed some groups or was involved in the upcoming, you know, groups like Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, you know, and so he was in the early 1980s or in the 1980s as like a pioneer, as we could say. Now, a lot of you may not, you know, that are younger generations would not know, but those of you that call us boomers or call the older generation that grew up in the 1970s or 80s, 90s would kind of, we would know more or less like who Eazy-E was, okay? I will say that if you are not, you know, at this point, if you don't feel comfortable listening to this reading, you can click off. Viewer discretion is advised. I'm going to speak of things that, you know, as an empath or sensitive that you may not want to hear, etc. So when I get into his soul, what I get across through very much so it was that he was very upset. He was very angry early on in the career, and I feel like this was before actually, like, you know, having the big break with Jerry Heller, whatever that guy's name was, that he co-founded Ruthless Records. You know, he was struggling, and there was a lot of bad decisions that he made. I don't know if he was ever pointed at his head with a gun at all, but he keeps showing me visions of that, showing me that, you know, he basically had to do a lot of things to survive on the streets. That's the kind of life mentality that he's not proud of. I also see like a bat bashing windows. So I don't know, but he had a lot of stories that he is like taking me through, you know, visions, snapshots of things that he would have done. I also feel like he would have been cut. I don't know, like somebody tried to stab him or cut him in a fight. But I see like a group of people, a lot of altercations, and this is like late early morning hours, you know, back in the 80s, of course. And these houses that he would have been stored at, there was things that were stored there, and people, you know, I guess they call them trap houses. I don't know what the term is, you know, in the drug world, but this would have been what would have like kind of been, you know, the environment. Family was everything for him, even up until the ending. You know, his family was everything for him, and he wanted to create a better life for his children than what he had. And so he keeps telling me that there was a lot of people that really did not like him. They did not, he had a lot of enemies that he created. Obviously, one, you know, leaving some of the old work, you know, the old acquaintances that he would have known once he had success and was making in the millions, you know, making money. He left a lot of people behind. So a lot of people that used to follow him felt like he had sold them out in some kind of way. And then there were some people that still supported him. And I feel like he never truly abandoned his roots. This is what I'm getting from him. He was very loyal to people to a fault, but people did not like that he was in control of their career or had some kind of say, you know. They felt like he was above them in some kind of way. I also felt like there was rival rappers, etc., from maybe a different group of gang members, I don't know, that were not necessarily fond of Eazy-E. And Eazy-E is telling me that he did talk crap, you know, he did say things that kind of instigated or fueled some anger from other people, and I'm not going to mention names or whatnot. Some of these people are still alive, obviously, and they are, you know, going through their own problems in their own lifetime. He's telling me that he made mistakes. He's not an angel, but he, at the core of of who he was, I see him being someone that was, all about his friends and those that he considered like family, and of course his children. And he's very proud of his children, all of them, and for what they have done. He doesn't want them to hold on to anger, because I get that his son and his daughter, these would be the ones that would have, followed in some kind of music career or have been following in the creative aspects of him. He's saying that he doesn't want them to be angry or upset, because this has stolen a lot of their peace for years. And I feel like his son has taken it a little harder on some levels, or has lived with this, on him, of getting like revenge, and he doesn't want them to do that. He does make me feel like, there was a lot of money that he obtained from other people. Now, this wasn't drugs, but once he was in Ruthless in the record labels, there would have been some money that he would have been taking, more than his percentage, more. I don't know how this was done, but money was not being managed correctly, and I felt like there was a lot of spending. And he was someone that was, very, I guess the word that I'm looking for, is it promiscuous? Someone that is very much having other partners, and loves women. And at the same time, there was another part of him that I don't know. And I won't say on here, but when it comes into his sexuality, that there would have been some kind of, some secrets or some feelings, I don't know. And I'm not going to disrespect him, obviously. But he does not want me to talk about that very clearly. So I'm not going to even go there. But there's something there, that I feel like there was, I don't know, like a division, kind of like, he was fond of men as well in some way. And this is not like taking a shot. I'm not saying sexually, but there was like some strong feelings for someone that he cared about. And it could have been more of just like, like bromance, like a lot of people call it in modern terms bromance. But I guess people are wanting to know at this point, did he die from the AIDS, from AIDS? And the answer is no. People have speculated. People are right. No one dies from AIDS that fast. Come on. I mean, hello? Come on. No one dies from AIDS that quickly. And the fact that he had these pneumonia-like symptoms, this was a cop-out use. People knew that he had AIDS when he came out. It was used as a cop-out to have that as an excuse to his passing. But what I feel and what I'm feeling is that there was definitely a substance that was injected into him, but it would have been like a foreign substance that maybe it was formed like in a different country that is untraceable. Like you cannot trace this. It would not have shown up in the autopsy. It would not have shown up in the body as a chemical, and this would have produced symptoms, death fairly quickly within a matter of days, like pneumonia, like not being able to breathe. It would have caused cardiac and respiratory failure, basically. So it's like a slow and painful death, but once it it destroys the blood cells, and you have an underlying condition, like your immune system is weak, it's definitely going to make it worse. So I do not feel, as a psychic medium and what I'm getting from his soul, that his passing was related to AIDS. That is a bogus lie. And anyone that is spiritually awoken, and so his kids are not far from the truth of how he was basically murdered, because this was something that was administered to him, and I feel like he would not even have suspected in the way that it was given. So I get this regarding his death. And people can call me conspiracy theorist all they want, but the truth is the truth out there. A lot of people don't know many things about him. They saw the tough side to him, but I feel like there was a very creative side, and I see like things that he would have had stored. I don't know if he even did like artwork, or was into like experimenting with art. But he keeps showing me like drawings and a book with writings. So I don't know if these were like songs that were not released or ideas that he had jotted down in some journals, but I feel like there is something like that that's still there. And I feel like he would have also given something. I don't know, like there would have been something of his that his children still have. I don't know if this is his chain, a piece of jewelry, but there's something that they still have. I do feel like his son is someone that is very spiritually open and awakened, and he does, and this would be, I think, the one that is, I'm trying to remember his name. He starts with an E. Is it Aaron? But he's very awakened spiritually, and I feel like this is the son, he keeps saying that his son is spiritually awoken, and that he has had dreams of his father visiting him. So I also feel like the daughter has had experiences, and these are not imagination. It is them actually remembering, connecting to him on some level. He's talking about his love life. He loved many women, but there wasn't really like a true love. It was just like almost like adventure for him, and him having to walk away from these people. I also feel like whatever was going on with Jerry was not a good influence. Jerry was corrupt, and I just feel like there was a lot more greed from Jerry. And Jerry was someone that was using Eazy-E like I hate to say this, like a puppet in some ways. Not to disrespect Eazy-E or his family, or say that even that he was like a puppet, but he was like the one being kind of calling the shots, Jerry. And I feel like he painted this picture of how it was going to be. But then once they started Ruthless and all of this, like there was a lot of lies, and he ended up like putting all the blame on Eazy-E. And I think this is why the guys like Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and some of the other people on the label who Eazy-E was maybe helping in some way, kind of like being there, that they felt this way about Eazy-E. They felt like he was the bad guy, but in reality, I don't feel like he was the mastermind, behind all of this. It was Jerry. And I feel like Jerry was like worried. I feel like he was pacing back and forth. I don't know if the word's embezzling, or he was taking money and using it for his own personal expenses more than what his salary was allotted, or what they're actually, supposed to get paid from the earnings. But there was a lot of things that were just convoluted, things that were not right. I keep feeling like there is people that still mourning Eazy-E, like they still think about him, and these are men and women that cared about him and saw him like a brother and a pioneer. And I also feel like behind all of this there was a lot of other greed, not just from Jerry, but from other record labels that were kind of wanting to have a piece of the pie. Like they didn't like that Ruthless was doing so well, or that, Eazy-E was doing so well and Jerry were doing well in many ways. So, I don't know who has a mixtape, or he made a mixtape, but they keep mentioning a mixtape. Somebody has a recording, like I think this would be like a cassette. There's a cassette and there's like some recording. I don't know if he left a message for his children in one of his songs that wasn't released, or something that wasn't released, but they keep showing me the old-fashioned cassette players or cassette tapes and a cassette player. So again, only his children would probably know, or people close to him, but this is what I'm getting. And I also keep feeling like they are being guided. He's saying that he guides them in their creative endeavors, and he really didn't want his family to get into the music or entertainment, but he supports their decisions. He says the danger is over. So there was danger. Like, he knew that his life was going to be, he always knew that it was going to end in a certain way. Either he was going to be shot by someone, because there were people that had made threats to take him out, or, to hurt his family in some kind of way. But he knew that it would not end well, is what he's saying. It would not end well. Like, this would not end well. And then I also feel like something happened during the time when he was laid to rest. Something happened where I almost feel like something was left with Eazy-E. I don't know if this would have been like somebody reading something, like a song, or singing a song, or like writing something on I keep seeing like a sheet of paper. So I don't know what this is all about, but I feel like something would have been, present around where his remains would be. Again, I don't know, but I keep seeing sheet of paper. He's showing me a sheet of paper, and basically a lot of people having a meltdown from his passing. Like, people were really shook by this. People were shook by his passing. So it hasn't been easy for his family at all. Nor his wife, but he did get to touch the lives that he needed to touch, and he did leave a legacy behind, and people respect him for that. They respect him for that, but there's still, I feel like, people that know what really went down. So again, this would have been murder. I don't feel like he would have been taken out by just AIDS and the complications of AIDS. There's a lot of people that have AIDS and survive, and he had the money for treatment, etc. So no, I don't feel like this was natural causes. So this is the reading on Eazy-E. I know a lot of you may have wanted for me to touch on a lot of other subjects, but I brought through the messages that were needed to be heard from spirit, from his soul, and from my spirit guides and his spirit guides on the other side. He is fine. He is definitely fine, but he was not fine after passing. There was a lot of anger. But he is at peace. He is at peace, definitely at peace. And this is the reading for Eazy-E. So if you did like the reading, please like the comment, or sorry, like the little like button, hit the like button, smash it. And also, if you have any other suggestions, comment in the comment section below. And blessings and love and light. Have an amazing, amazing afternoon or day.